All right, good morning and welcome to the program. It is Straight Talk Live on Echo FM 100.7. Welcome, people, to the main event on radio. Well, today I have Sahevi, everybody in the southeast, and of course, is not happy this morning with the court ruling and sentencing of NNAMDI KANU to life imprisonment by Justice James Omotosho. Yesterday, that ruling came on board, and it's not been funny. Loads and loads of reaction globally all over the world. It's become a global sensation news, and everybody is now wondering what exactly is happening. But at the end of the day, were you surprised by the aftermath of that particular judgment? So today we take a look at the aftermath of NNAMDI KANU'S sentencing. A lot of comments from people. A lot of people are saying so many things. At the end of the day, what exactly is the situation in your own area? Well, we were expecting, of course, the Igbo nation has been quiet, and we want to appreciate everybody who is maintaining peace, because peace is priceless. Let's not destroy things just because of we are not happy with the outcome. Now, I want to ask this morning, was anybody surprised with the judgment? Okay. Now, the issue is how the judgment was delivered. A lot of people are saying that Justice James Omotosho was just visibly very angry, and he took his anger on Nnamdi Kanu due to his unruly behavior. Yeah, if you watch the video, Nnamdi Kanu, well, according to what Justice James Omotosho showed no respect to the court and continuously was unruly. He was slapping a lawyer. I say, when I'm talking, don't talk, in the process of this whole trial. And then Nnamdi Kanu kept asking, where is the law? Show me the law and all that. Yeah, it's become very clear that we need to make some clarifications about this. Yes, Nnamdi Kanu kept asking, where is the law? Show me the law. But like we keep saying, that the repealed law has a saving clause, and that saving clause makes whatever was started during that law that has been repealed can continue. So probably, I don't know why Nnamdi Kanu kept dwelling on that, but the issue is that so many commentators, some legal experts are blaming Nnamdi Kanu for this, that if he had entered the defense and defended himself, maybe, just maybe, this wouldn't have gotten to this level now. Even if you want to convict him, not a life sentence. Even though the prosecutors were asking for the death sentence, surprisingly, it was kind of that nobody saw that coming. But the issue is that the judge said, according to him, if not the fact that the world is frowning at death sentence, that Nnamdi Kanu was going to bag a death sentence. And that really, really caught me. Wow, what has he actually done that would warrant the death sentence in the first place? That is what really so many people are like asking. Now, when you juxtapose the crimes that they accuse Nnamdi Kanu of: terrorism, he was convicted of terrorism for life imprisonment, and about 20 years for another count, and 5 years for another count. At the end of the day, just this same week, an ISWAP commander, a terrorist that has been killing and murdering people, ransacking people, chasing people away from their homes, raping women, taking ransom here and there, was sentenced for just 20 years. And Nnamdi Kanu has been sentenced to life imprisonment for radio broadcast. Not for what he did, but for what he said. That is exactly what people keep talking about. So this morning, the aftermath of Nnamdi Kanu's sentencing, the Igbo nation is saying that this is a conspiracy against the Igbo nation. There is a different set of laws for Igbo people. There is a different set of law for the rest of Nigeria. Again, we are also taking a look at this thing from the perspective that it may be a distraction, because it's coming at a point when the insecurity in Nigeria is getting to a crescendo. Just yesterday, 2 days ago, there were so many bikes trooping into Imo State. Naze cluster market was overrun by Okada and the rest of them on bikes, and they say it's Fulani people at control. Same thing happens various places. People are just tripping in with machine the same way we see bandits move with machines all over Nigeria. And it's beginning to happen here in Imo State, and we are taking a look at it as if it is nothing. Now, this is a very big cause for concern. Why these things are going on, according to some analysts, these people are positioning themselves to take the next action all over Nigeria. And now they have started entering Imo State and the Southeast in general. Where do we go from here? Why everybody will be focusing on this trial, this aspect of the insecurity is spreading. After the Kogi State Road massacre, where they were smashing people's cars, we heard about the KB girls, and then the Kwara Church abduction and killing, and then people are now trooping in large numbers with machines. And then one of the videos that was circulated on social media, the person that was recording that video, live streaming it, they almost beat him and broke his phone in alive. This is very worrisome. And then we are also making it public today that that video is circulating. If you've not watched it, try and watch it, because this is beginning to become very scary. Every corner you go, it's like the entire bike men now are now from the north. And then most of them are not Fulanese, but some of them are very good Christian brothers. But we're seeing an influx of people moving together as a bike group, moving straight into Imo State. Well, I hope the weapons will not follow, because they come first, the weapons come next, and then the killing starts. And that is what I want us to draw our attention to this morning. While we are taking a look at what happened in court yesterday, we cannot close our eyes to the insecurity that is spreading around this country. Yes, it's spreading around this country. While we talk about this, let us bring this to the forefront of the people. All right, let's take a listen to reactions from NNAMDI KANU'S wife. She made a post on social media, and we got hold of it. Let's listen to what NNAMDI KANU'S wife said after her husband was sentenced for life imprisonment. It was very pathetic. He said the young NNAMDI KANU'S son, the one that won the best brain in Britain, is asking that what happened to his father in the court, and they told him it's just a usual. They cannot bring themselves to tell the young man that his father is going to spend the rest of his life in prison, but definitely they have the right to appeal. So let's take a listen to NNAMDI KANU'S wife, and after that we will come back and continue with the show. Today, I'm doing the aftermath of Mazi NNAMDI KANU'S sentencing, and you can have your say from here. All the newspapers are saying the same thing, so there's no point reading. We'll just bring you some excerpt of that court judgment, and then take your reactions to what has happened yesterday in court. Welcome aboard. My name is Barry Cosmos, the Radio Machado with one on radio, and this is Straight Talk Live on Echo FM. Let's take a listen to NNAMDI KANU'S wife.
Lovers of justice. I think the time now is 17 minutes past 8. It's been a long day for all of us. It's been a very, very long day. Annoying long day. Not unexpected day, but a day that we knew that would come sometime, at some point. I just had to wait for Nabi Kim to go back into the house, because I haven't told him what happened. He's asked me about the court, and I said, it's the usual nonsense going on. And he said, okay. Sorry, I'm just getting a call on. I have been on call since last night. I have not slept. Considering that I'm still recovering, I have not slept not one bit, and I have been on calls and meetings, and some people were calling me that they were on high blood pressure and things, and I thought to myself, what do you want me to do? What do you expect me to do? We have seen what transpired today in the court between NNAMDI Kanu and the kakistocratic. I have always called Nigerian government kakistocratic government of Nigeria. What happened today is not something unprecedented. It is something that we know that this is what they want to do, even though some people don't realize that, but this is something that has been planned, prepared a long time ago. Although at some point we would have averted or evaded this type of behavior in the past, but notwithstanding, God alone understands why it has to come this way or go this way. Mind you, this is not about some political misunderstanding or misconception happening anywhere. This is about Biafra. So if we understand what Biafra is and understand what it entails and understand the people behind Biafra, the hands, the unseen hands and the seen hands, then we will understand what this whole thing is about. Also, if we understand who we are as the Igbo people, Igbo, there is something about us that the enemy does not want to board. We are very special. I keep saying that. And at some point, God, in his infinite mercy, would make us known as he has purposed us to be. So I need to be fast so I can go back in. I'm in the car trying to make this quick video before going back in, because Nabi Kim will come out now. I don't want him to hear me. In Nigeria, a judge cannot ask a defendant to open a defense on terrorism-related charges without reading out the written law under which the court is trying that person. Okay? So the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended, Section 36. I mean, I'm sure that is very familiar to everyone now. It provides that a person shall not be convicted of a criminal offense unless the offense is defined and the penalty prescribed as in a written law. So what Omotosho has done today is a written script for him to read out. Everyone could hear him, everyone could see that he was reading a script handed over to him, and that he could barely read out some of the words in his own very written judgment. How interesting. How interesting. I've had to quickly tweet and post the travesty of justice today regarding how Omotosho ignored the Constitution's requirement that no one can be convicted under an unwritten or unknown offense. He forced NNAMDI Kanu to take a plea under a repealed law, which NNAMDI Kanu refused. So show me where it is written before I can enter into a defense. And that never happened. Omotosho refused blatantly, flagrantly to issue written rulings on serious applications. So you could hear him reading, you could hear him counting thousands of lines of hours of accounts. But then he refused to issue a written ruling, which he ought to have done first, but never did. He told NNAMDI Kanu to put all objections in a final address, then blocked the final address. So if you were NNAMDI Kanu, you will be as outraged as Mazi was this afternoon. You cannot ask me to put my final address, put it down, write it down, and then you block it. So NNAMDI Kanu has right, is his right, to put a final address down, to write it down. But Omotosho blocked that and decided to read out those nonsense he called counts. And he refused to, first of all, decide whether he even had the power to try the case. We kept talking about jurisdiction. I have always talked about jurisdiction. Nigeria government has no right to try NNAMDI Kanu. He who comes to law must come with equity, or he who comes to equity must come with clean hands, rather, excuse me. So it's also in the spirit. If I'm going somewhere to lay a complaint about someone, I ought not to have done something, rather lay a complaint first. So Nigerian government decided to take NNAMDI Kanu from Kenya, They kidnapped him, tortured him. After 8 days, they brought him to Nigeria, and then decided to try him under a repealed law, which we have refused. So a few gaps there where we should have stood on our discharge and acquitted and stood by it. Regardless, that would be revisited, and we are going to appeal. Of course, we are not going to sit down and fold our arms for Nigerian government to deliver something that they have planned, a verdict that they have written years before now. We won this case. They were not happy about it. They went to Supreme Court, even though the Supreme Court messed around with the whole judgment, but they did say to them, you are trialing him on a wrong law, change it. Nigeria never changed it. Where is the treasonable felony gone? Where is the location of the crime? Where is the location of the crime? Did Omotosho mention it? No. One of the reasons I came on live is to point at just one single point, or one single loophole. Omotosho cannot give a verdict on an evidence that was not inclusive in the previous, or the evidence tendered in court. Everyone keeps shouting, oh, NNAMDI Kanu said, burn down this, kill the policemen. What were the policemen doing? Policemen were shooting protesters who were unarmed. But that aside, did any person come to court? Was there a witness in the court who came in to say, I committed this crime? Or was there a person that the police or the DSS or the Nigerian government brought into the court and said, this person committed this crime because NNAMDI Kanu incited them? None whatsoever. So in Omotosho's verdict, he was counting everything, and he counted about NNAMDI Kanu wanting the British embassy to be burnt down and Katrina Lang murdered. How on earth? How is that? So you see, when I say that the Nigerian government and all their nonsense is of kakistocratic nature, it is not a joke. It is not a joke. So with all the maxed people in the court who kept saying, I'm unaware, I don't know, this is where Nigerian government wants to go. This is where they want to go to. Or life imprisonment. He would have mentioned death sentence then, Why didn't he mention it? He should have said that sentence. The thing is, we're not here to make any noise, but to continue to tell our people that this is an orchestrated pattern. We know the hands behind this. The British government being brought into this very case in order to say, oh, NNAMDI Kanu is international. Take this point, international terrorist. They are stupid. You know, this is the same. This is the kind of person.
All right, welcome back to the show, people. It is Straight Talk live on Echo FM. That was the voice of the wife of Nnamdi Kanu, Lolo Uchechi Okukanu, who was speaking there. Very lengthy video. Well, if you want to watch the rest of the video, please just go on our Facebook. It's there. Go on our YouTube. It's there. You can also listen to Lolo Uchechi, as she has said. It's touched on a whole lot of issues, but for time, we can't give you the full audio of that particular message she sent on social media. All right, it is very appalling for us to be digesting this because we are not lawyers now. I called a lawyer who will be helping us, but of course he's airborne now. When he lands, we will see how to reconnect with him and then give his own account and detailed explanation of what the judgment was, where it was right, where it was wrong, and you heard from Nnamdi Kanu's wife. Now, let's hear your take on what she has said so far. I don't want to talk too much today. Everybody have their own opinion on this matter. Let's go. But the breaking news now, breaking news, people, just like I said earlier on, that this may be a ruse for us to keep our attention away from the terrorism that is happening. People who are actually terrorizing Nigeria have struck again, this time around in Kwara State again. I think it's in Kwara. Okay. After the terrorists, I just had breaking news now that just few minutes ago, these early hours of this morning, 52 students were again abducted. So terrorists in the early hours of Friday morning at St. Mary's Papari Private Catholic Secondary School, Papari, in Aguara local government area of Niger State, abducting an unspecified number of students and teachers. This is being reported by Sahara reporters. Of course, we got that news from our news department now that the number is 52 students of Catholic school that were abducted in Niger State right this morning again. So that's exactly what we are seeing right now. So multiple community sources also visited the school after the attack, confirmed the invasion, describing it as a coordinated operation that lasted between 2 a.m. and 3 a.m., 1 hour. Ahmed Abdullah Rofai, the head of disaster and relief for Aguara local government, also confirmed the incident alongside Bello Gidi, media aide of the chairman of Aguara local government area. Speaking with Sahara reporters, Gidi said it is true that bandits have kidnapped students and teachers at St. Mary's Papari Private Catholic Secondary School, Papari, in Aguara, LGA, Niger State. He further revealed the scale of the attack, stating the information that is reaching us is that they have kidnapped over 100 students and teachers. Also, it is a mixed school with boys and girls. However, Sahara reporters noted that the exact number of abducted persons remain unclear. Commonly, community members who spoke to the correspondent of Sahara reporters said the attack has whisked away more than a dozen children, but the figures circulating locally have not been independently verified, according to them. But we're hearing verified news from our news department that is 52 students from Papari, St. Mary Papari's Catholic Secondary School in Niger State that were adopted this morning at the wee hours of 2 a.m. to 3 a.m. while the students were asleep. So it's becoming a crime now to send your child to a boarding school. That's what it means. And with this influx of people on bikes coming into Imo State, all boarding schools should please beef up their security around their schools, and the students and parents should beware. That's exactly what this means. All right, let's get to hear your take on these issues. Good morning and welcome to Straight Talk. Who dem line?
Very good morning.
The senior citizen.
Yes, what a solemn day. Senior citizen, Mazuzoma. What an unusual day. Barry,
Sir.
I had paid tax, income tax.
Mm-hmm.
I had paid tax for a few years before 1966.
Yeah.
I had, as an employee, they call it PAYE. So some of what you are seeing, I had seen over and over again. Yes. Barry, when it started, it was young men saying they were we were seeing soldiers on the road. For the first time we thought, they said they were soldiers. Even as adults, some had not seen soldiers before. One word, whatever anybody in Nigeria is doing today must point to peace and peace only. Barry, we are giving the numbers. I'm watching Arise television. Arise says 52 students. That's if it is wrong, it is Arise. There is on Arise 52 from Niger State, not another state. Not the ones who are asking for, is it 3 billion or 3 whatever. And as you know the news report, that between last year and this year, that bandits have received more than 3 trillion naira.
Yeah.
In the money they were, more than 3 trillion naira. But do you know a state in Nigeria that has an annual budget of 3 trillion naira? Do you know any? What is the annual budget of Imo State? I'm talking of trillion naira. Barry, let me tell you where we must go. We must continue to pursue the path of peace. Whatever anybody is doing, whether anybody is performing well or performing below average or above average, peace. Nothing else should attract anybody in Nigeria today. They're not about the analysis, whether they are wrong, the court was right, the court was not. They cannot have done well, they have not done well. Let us pursue the path of peace. I know the consequence of chaos. I know the consequence of trouble. I say it again. Let me say very slowly. Permit me, Barry. You can send me a bill, I will pay. Whatever anybody is doing, you are in government. You are not in government. You want justice. It is injustice. No, the time has come for something to happen. No, the time has not come. They are killing. The governor of Benue State said, no, there's no whatever they are saying. He's governor. Those who gave him license to practice as a priest have not withdrawn his license. All I'm saying, what we must do today and onwards, peace, the pursuit of peace. Good morning, Barry.
Thank you very much, senior citizen.
No analysis about who is right or who is wrong.
That's all.
Good morning.
Thank you very much for that beautiful message. Peace, peace, peace. Nobody can strive in a chaos. Nobody can strive in a very situation of anarchy. There's no way anybody will do well. The rich will suffer. The poor will suffer. In fact, the poor may turn on the rich for survival. So the rich people, you cannot sit idly by and watch these terrorists keep killing people. Hello, good morning.
Hello, Mr. Vari.
Good morning.
Good morning, my brother.
Welcome aboard.
God bless you. I love your program and you are a nice man. May God keep blessing you.
Amen.
My name is Pastor Anthony Gochuku. I'm calling from Nazi.
Okay.
I don't want to say much. The only thing is that I think a Reverend Father was the person, I heard it this morning, that he said that there is nothing like Christian genocide in Benue.
Yeah.
And now it's coming back to Catholic. They went to the church and kidnapped students or whatever. But what I'm saying is that whatever that goes around comes around. Whosoever that is mentioning anything, you see killing Christians and you say that nothing happens. That person, one day or one way or the other, it may come around the person. But we keep our fingers crossed and we are watching. But God is alive. He's never asleep. So I don't want to say the issue of NNAMDI Kanu has kept everybody. Now we are all down. We've now seen that we don't have, the Igbos don't have any authority, no say any longer. But it's only God that will fight our battle. Thank you and have a good day. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Pastor, for your contribution. All right. Are you aware that bandits killed 16 vigilantes and abducted more than 40 residents in multiple attacks across Mashegu LGA of Niger State? The assailant ambushed vigilantes after invading Magama village during dawn prayers and kidnapping over 20 people. Several communities in Mashegu LGA were deserted as residents fled for nearby towns. That was just 4 days ago. 4 days ago. All right? Now, that's just how terrible this situation has become in Nigeria. Then, are you also aware that from the time we started hearing all these plenty stories, it's become a trouble. Just 28 minutes ago, terrorists in the near hours invaded and stormed and took 52 people hostage. Now, just a few days ago, we had 25 girls, that was on November 17th, who were abducted. And of course, terrorists and the mass abduction is now the order of the day. In February, Niger State, terrorists took over, how many again? 52. Still in Niger State. Terrorists abduct over 100 students, teachers at St. Mary's, and of course, dozens of students abducted. Every day, Boko Haram terrorist sect are kidnapping and killing people. But the one person that has not kidnapped or killed anybody with his own hands has been sentenced for life imprisonment. Now, this is the travesty of justice in Nigeria, and everybody is just looking at it like something that is normal. Everybody's saying it's normal, it's okay, and at the end of the day, this is what is going on. How long are we going to keep having this kind of justice system in Nigeria? If you have to prosecute NNAMDI Kanu, prosecute these other ones. Why we have bandits say they have been rehabilitated and reintegrated. Some of them are now serving in Nigerian army, and now the Nigerian army has been polarized. It has been more like infiltrated by this same terrorist group who have been reintegrated and then recruited into the Nigerian army because they know how to handle the gun. And an ASWAP commander was just given 20 years, and then Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is sent for life in prison for the same terrorism accusations. Oh, me, double. How does it feel like? Hello, good morning.
Good morning, my very good friend, Mr. Abare. How are you doing this morning?
I greet you. Welcome aboard.
Olumbise Onyeze Ezelobo. Barry, you have seen my reason why we are clamoring every day. But I thank God from your script this morning, Imagwana Mongojo. Other Migrana, Gedati Gibronyeze, Gedabroneze, Wala Abala Kanta. You want to get that program, get the Gabaki Hoji, Uruwan, Yonyeze Dorena Copia. So I'm making a one, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, Gochilang Hoji, Uruwan people. Open one for man and Urunwe Kamardanine. So, my brother, in the issue of this judgment yesterday, everybody knows this, that James Omotosho Abiwoti, the column, is a written script being given to him. How can a judge, you are in the court, presenting judgment? We are only seeing the lawyers. Nobody saw his face as a judge where he's reading the script. That means this is a dog step over the Nigerians and the whole world, so Mugerema, within the script. and he starts a judgment against somebody, no matter how stubborn Mazana the Kalo must have been in the court, you have to read that judgment in his presence so that let him know how you are condemning him. You ask them after they maybe one or two, ask them to take him away. You read the script being given to you. Good kind law are we practicing in this country called Nigeria for now? Let us call in the problem we have in this country. The problem we Igbos, the minor Igbos have is our Igbo political leaders is our problem. The Yorubas is our problem, and the Fulanis. The Hausas don't have any problem with any Igbo man. So let these three groups in Nigeria, the Igbo politicians, the Yorubas, and the Fulanis, let them talk what an Igbo man did to them that makes them not to make an Igbo man rest in this country called Nigeria for now. That's my take. Thank you and God bless you.
Do you, that's exactly one thing I don't want us to fall victim of. I don't want people to fall victim of this narrative. Now, this is exactly how politicians pitch one another, pitch us against ourselves in this country. With this kind of things, the next thing is Yoruba man doesn't like Hausa man. This one doesn't like this. This one doesn't like this. We will now leave the main issue. The main wahala in this country is the failure of government. Nothing more. It is not about whether Yoruba man hates Igbo man or Igbo man hates Yoruba man or Hausa man hates this one. No. It's a complete lack of governance. Take it to the bank. Take it anywhere. It is lack of governance. Now, I want to send a message directly to the Benue State Governor, Reverend Father Hyacinth Alia. If I say I am disappointed in you, it's going to be an understatement. Initially, when the Benue State Governor came on board, when this killing started, he said it is religiously targeted, in his own words. And now, because the Nigerian government is giving a narrative there is no Christian genocide, you've turned around 360, a Reverend Father saying that there is no Christian genocide in Nigeria. Yes, you have a right to say that. But when you now swear as a priest and saying things that are like unconfirmed or with a big doubt, that leaves a lot of questions to answer. I am so disappointed in the fact that as a Catholic priest would look at the Nigerians in the face and then look at, we have more refugees in Benue State than any other state in Nigeria. Not even the epicenter of Boko Haram. People have been ransacked away from their houses. People have been from their farmland. Benue State, which is the food basket of the nation, is now buying food from outside to come and feed their own people. And the man who is supposed to give succor to Benue people, if you go to look at Benue State people, their houses burnt. Are they Muslims? Who is doing the killing? Are they not Muslims, jihadists who come in the name of Islam, killing people and shouting Allahu Akbar? And then you sit down and tell Benue people and tell the world there is no Christian genocide and that anything you say as a Reverend Father, you will still go back and become a priest after this time. I used to hold Alia in a very high regard. In fact, he was one of those people that I taught earlier, and of course, he was a spiritual father. Lots of people looked up to you. And also did well as a priest. Now you as a priest, what are you doing? People are dying. After Yelwata, you lined up Benue State little school children on the road inside the rain to welcome a president who has done absolutely nothing to help Benue State people. This is completely uncalled for, and it is one way of, I wish that the Benue people know exactly what to do come 2027, because you are a big disappointment. There is nothing, no development, nothing. If you go to Benue State, it's looking like the poorest state right now. There are no food anymore from the food basket because people can't go to their farms. No roads. Everywhere bad road. What exactly have you done? Now, if you're following us on our social media, you look at Benue State with coffins carried, mass people going to be buried all Christians. Benue State is a predominantly Christian state. It's not like they don't have Muslim, but they are minute. They're just like a minute. In fact, being a Muslim in Benue State is more like you are not a Benue indigene, but maybe you're just living there. They are either Catholics or they are Anglicans or NKST, as they call them, or they are Pentecostals. And then the governor will have the nerves and the guts to come out and tell Benue people that there is no genocide. So what are they doing? They're ethnically cleansing Benue State. They're killing and taking away their land, and the man who's supposed to protect them, look at the IDP camp in Benue State. People are living in thatches. Children can no longer go to school. The future of Benue State is so bleak because our younger generation don't have hope. And then the Benue State governor will come up and say these kind of crazy things. It's madness. And I just feel so disappointed and so disgusted over that statement. Even as a priest, he will finish and go back to be a priest. Fine, you're going to be a priest. But please, when you go back, go and ask God for forgiveness because of what you've done to Benue people. Supporting what is completely koro, everybody is saying it, and then you say it is not happening. When you keep denying the reality, what do you expect? I don't like to talk about this, but this is getting too much, and it is very, very wrong. For the Benue State governor, shame, shame, shame on you. I am not speaking against the priest. I'm speaking to the governor, because the priest is not the man there. It is the governor. So please, we are not saying anything calumny against the priest. I know the consequences of saying calumny against the priest, but I'm not talking about the priest. I'm talking about the governor, who is now a politician. We are always afraid of the people who use the pulpit, and then a politician and a pulpit holder. What a combination. People are dying shot left, right, and center, and you come out openly and say there's no genocide. The killing there is that, is that. What the hell is that? Anyway, let's go back. I think I've said enough on that particular one. Hello, good morning. Who dem a line?
Good morning, Barry Cosmos.
I greet you. Welcome aboard.
Yeah, my name is Edify Oku JP, Radio General from Odo-Brogo Hajema local government.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm happy with the kindness in Imo Church, Ebonyi State. So if at the Southeastern...
Hello, the Radio General.
We're happy about it. But we are still expecting that President Tinubu should do something. Since he said cannot do anything for the case that is in the court, now they have passed judgment. Let him do something. Let him do the needful to the Easterners. Otherwise, the Easterners will not be happy with Nigeria. That is it. They were talking about Father Hyacinth. It's unfortunate. You see, I was in Benue State in the month of June when 200 people were killed. After that, they killed another 100 people. All these people, they were all Christians. Then the governor is saying that there's no genocide. There's no Christian genocide. There was no Muslim among them. You see, that is why I decide not to vote for any person who claims to be a Christian coming to your church, persuading you. As soon as they enter there, they forget about their religion. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you very much, the Radio General, for your contribution. It is Straight Talk Live on Echo FM, people. If you want to have your say, now is your chance. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning,
Barry.
Yeah.
Good morning, Barry.
Good morning to you.
Yeah, Daddy Joe, I come from Obako this morning with coal mine and coffee, my brother. Well, it is well.
It is well.
It is well, my brother.
Yeah.
And we want to encourage all Igbo persons in Nigeria. We should calm down. Joy is coming. This is not the end of the life, no? NNAMDI will still be released. I know that sentence was a political sentence. And I know very soon our president will intervene. Praise the Lord.
All right.
Then, Father Alia, my brother, I don't know, you are mentioning about Niger State, kidnap, this and that. Those people that are doing all this, are they church people? Are they not terrorists? Are they not carrying guns? Somebody was just carrying books and he stabbed the terrorists. Then those carrying guns now are not repentant. My brother, Nigeria, you shouldn't get.
All right. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome aboard.
This is Awuja calling from Naked.
Awuja, carry go.
But I think he was talking to the Reverend Father in his capacity as a governor.
Yes.
I join you to talk to him in that language.
Yeah.
So any language used on him, anything used on him is in his capacity as a politician and a governor, not as a priest.
At all.
When he goes to the pulpit to talk, we will not talk to him in that way. Yeah, but for now, whatever we say is what we observe of him. Then, coming to the judgment passed against NNAMDI KANU, I think it's a recitation that the judge read. Then, as directed by those, because you see, Nigerian judiciaries these days do not do things according to law. They do what they are directed by authorities of the land. Then, but God will intervene in all these things that are coming up. Then, if it is not, NNAMDI KANU will come out safe from there one day. Let them go to Court of Appeal, then go to Supreme Court. Then if they uphold all these decisions, then we know that the mercy NNAMDI KANU will then have is from the presidency. Then when we will say amnesty, isn't it?
All right. Thank you very much.
Then if he fails to do that, we know that it is Tinubu that sentenced NNAMDI KANU. Thank you and God bless you.
All right, thank you. Let's take some messages just before we go. Okay. No, there's no time for messages. When we come back from the break, we will take some of your messages. You've sent quite a lot of them on Facebook and, of course, on YouTube. There are also messages there. So we thank you for sticking with us. And, of course, as we have announced, everybody stay tuned. Before we go, I just want to make this few announcements for everybody who is a lover of Echo FM. Please kindly join our Echo FM community. All you need to do is go on our Facebook and click the link, and you will be added to the community there. It's very simple. Just click it, and then your this thing will be there. All right, let's go and then take a commercial before we go for the news update at 10.
Echo 100.7.
Shadow as vendors for Owerri don land gidigba with VIO Mega Trade Fair. Now Christmas shopping 5.0. Awoof brekete as massive discounts on anything you buy from Mega Trade Fair plus business networking connection. Venue na Imo Exhibition Center, Old FSP Park, beside Country's Fast Food, Mbari Street, Owerri, Imo State. Date na 5th to 7th December 2025. Vendors for Owerri Mega Trade Fair. They supported by Joe, Cleaner and DJ Hype Man, DJ B, the king of short down go summer better music. Hurry now, make you collect your stand though. Just greet them on top 0810-652-2011 or 0813-106-2398. Make you no day for inside river. Soap go enter your eye. Oh yeah, grab your copy fast.
This week to help those in need.
If you know that it's God Almighty that created you and created we Nigerians like you need to do good things for us because the masses are suffering. How can suspend me here? Are we your slaves?
And I'm going to win this election.
That is the truth.
Stay informed with Echo FM 100.7. Join us for exclusive interviews with experts, breaking updates on local and global events, and in-depth coverage of issues impacting our community. Tune in every weekday at 6:30 a.m., 12 noon, 2 p.m., and 6 p.m. for our major news bulletin in English, Igbo, and Pidgin language. For more inquiries, you can reach us through our email, echofm@thekingmail.com. You can follow us on our social media handles at Echo FM. Echo FM 100.7 Owerri. We are the Fresh News People.
From the news desk of Echo FM comes the news update at 10. Here are the latest stories we are keeping tabs on. President Bola Tinubu has directed the Minister of State for Defense, Bello Matawalle, to immediately relocate to Kebbi State following the abduction of 25 schoolgirls from Government Girls Comprehensive Secondary School in Maga. Matawalle, former governor of Zamfara State, with experience handling major kidnapping incidents, including the 2021 Jagebe abduction, is expected in Benin, Kebbi on Friday to oversee the coordinated all rescue operations. Authorities hope his expertise will accelerate efforts to secure the safe return of the girls. In response to the worsening security situation, President Tinubu has postponed planned trips to South Africa and Angola to receive critical security briefings. This decision comes in the wake of Kebbi abduction and a recent attack on worship at Christ Apostolic Church in Iruku, Kwara State, emphasizing that the rescue of the schoolgirls remains a top national priority. Nigerian Breweries PLC has donated a 2-ton per day cassava processing facility to the Awamama community in Imo State as part of its corporate social responsibility initiatives. Managing Director Tibot Boydin stated that the project aims to drive sustainable development, generate over 500 million naira annually, and create employment opportunities and establish the community as a cassava processing hub. Community leaders and state officials, including AZ Dr. Val Amanfo, the 6th, and Commissioner for Trade Rex Anunobi, lauded the initiative for supporting local farmers, boosting youth employment, and aligning with Imo State's economic goals. The project also seeks to replace livelihoods previously sustained by the company's mothballed brewery, with calls for more private sector investment in community-driven development. The federal government has released 68 billion naira for vaccine procurement and an additional 50 billion naira to clear health workers' outstanding arrears. Minister of Health, Professor Mohammed Pate, confirmed that the vaccine funds have been credited to the National Primary Healthcare Agency, with payments to UNICEF being processed, highlighting the government's commitment to strengthening the health system, advancing the universal health coverage. Professor Pate urged state governments to raise health budgets and ensure efficient use of resources to enhance primary health care hospitals and reproductive health services. Cross River State Deputy Governor Peter Ode, representing Governor Basi Otu, reaffirmed the council's role as Nigeria's apex health policy body, calling for stronger state-level commitment to equitable health care for all citizens. The Nigerian Center for Disease Control and Prevention has reported 966 cases of Lassa fever and 177 deaths nationwide between January and early November 2025. The cases were recorded in 21 states and 102 LGAs, with the case fatality rate rising to 18.3%, up from 16.5% during the same period in 2024, signaling a worsened trend. Ondo, Bauchi, Edo, Taraba states account for 87% of infections, while the most affected age group remains 21 to 30 years. No new health worker infections were recorded in week 44, and the National Lassa Fever Technical Working Group continues to coordinate response efforts as Nigeria grapples with one of its most persistent and deadly infectious disease. The Niger State Police Command has arrested 10 suspects linked to armed robbery, thuggery, and cattle rustling across Mina and surrounding areas. Operations in Tudunwada and Central Divisions led to the arrest of 2 armed suspects along the Western Bypass, with further arrests made during sting operations in black spots, including Sayoko and Abdul Salam quarters. 3 additional suspects were apprehended for receiving and selling rusted cattle in Magama LGA, with 8 stolen cows recovered. Police efforts continue to locate 2 accomplices still at large as authorities intensify operations to curb crime and ensure the safety of communities across Niger State. In business, the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation has accused the Central Bank of Nigeria of recirculating 29.77 billion naira worth of unfit banknotes, breaching the clean note policy. The 2022 audit revealed that condemned notes were redistributed across multiple CBN branches, with delays in destroying unfit currency exposing the system to risks of pilferage and financial loss. The Auditor General rejected explanations citing COVID-19, military cash requires, and festive season shortages as unsatisfactory. The report recommends that the CBN governor be summoned by the National Assembly to justify the breaches of phased sanctions, adding to ongoing scrutiny of the bank's management under former Governor Godwin Emefiele. On the foreign scene, U.S. Congressman Riley Moore has stated that many Nigerians have lost trust in their government due to repeated failures in responding to security threats. Speaking before the U.S. House Subcommittee on Africa, he highlighted incidents where authorities ignored warnings, including a reported attack in Plateau State, raising concerns about negligence and government credibility. Moore called for closer collaborations between Nigeria and the United States to address rising insecurity and underscored that the government's repeated lapses have contributed to public distrust. He is expected to meet senior Nigerian officials to discuss security challenges and the country's country of particular concern designation. Still on the foreign scene, a high-level delegation from the UK, Germany, Denmark, Finland, and Netherlands, and United Nations visited Borno State to engage with conflict-affected communities and discuss safe resettlement strategies. The envoys held meetings with Governor Babagana Zulum and military officials in Banki and toured IDP camps, including El Mishkin and Musarai, assessing education, livelihoods, and resilience project. The visit coincides with deepening humanitarian needs in northeast Nigeria, where 34 million people face acute food insecurity. The UK reaffirms its £45 million support for life-saving services through agencies such as WFP and UNICEF, emphasizing continued collaboration to provide food assistance, treat malnutrition, and sustain critical community support. And in sports, Nigeria's table tennis star Kadri Aruna has been eliminated from the 2025 Muscat contender after a tight 3-2 defeat to Romania's Edward Lonscu. In this round of 32, Aruna, seeded 9th, had led 2-1 in games but narrowly lost the last 2, including a tense 12-10 final game, despite winning more points overall during the match. With Aruna's exit, Egypt's Omar Assar remains the only African in the men's single draw. Aruna earns £17,000 and 25 ranking points from the tournaments, while Lonscu advances to 5th seed Wojun Jang in the round of 16, highlighting the competitive nature of the event. And that's all for the news update at 10 as edited by Benjamin Joseph. For more information and inquiries, visit our social media platforms. On Facebook is Echo FM and our X handle is at Echo FM_Owerri. On Instagram and YouTube is Echo FM 100.7. You can listen to us anywhere in the world by clicking on www.ecofm.net. And that's the news update at 10.
Echo FM. Sound of the city. Echo 100.7. Live from the Eastern Heartland, Echo FM 100.7 brings you engaging conversation on trending news.
We need the federal government to sort whatever issue they are having with ASU.
And by December this year, 4,000 MOUs will be employed in Europe.
It's explosive.
Well, first of all, we must understand that war in itself is a display of anarchy. When you talk about war, that is lawlessness at its peak. When you say you are fighting war to keep Nigeria one, no. You fought the war as a manifestation of your incompetence in the management of the crisis that was then part of Nigerian history.
Hilarious.
I get malaria, my cancer. Behind every successful man, there's a woman at the front.
Stop shaking your head. You stop shaking your head. You're one of those who are causing problems.
On action,
and daring.
Mr. President, God will ask all of us, but you will be in the front. I will say, I've told the Senate President.
Our nation remains one of the most insecure and least peaceful in the world today, making Nigeria one of the hungriest countries of the world. Nigerians now spend nearly their entire income on feeding.
We may be hungry, but we can manage our hunger.
My appeal is that you dedicate 20% of 2025, roughly 72 days, to visit each of the 36 states.
Catch the drama, feel the excitement on Straight Talk on Echo FM 100.7 Owerri with the Radio Marshal Barry Cosmos. Every weekday, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Join the conversation on Straight Talk with Barry Cosmos. Straight Talk. Get straight analysis. No bending corners.
Let's be poor. Breathe.
Every day,
every hour,
every minute,
and every second,
breaking news occur
from our villages,
in our cities,
new government policies,
the economy,
politics,
social news,
entertainment news,
security concerns.
We, the people, converge
to analyze,
separating facts from fiction,
lies and truth.
We dissect,
we integrate,
we harmonize,
we criticize,
and we bring you all the juicy details.
Live on Echo FM 100.7 Owerri. It is Straight Talk.
Straight Talk.
Straight Talk on Echo FM 100.7 Owerri.
Shall I begin? I am your host. I am your anchorman. I am the presiding bishop of this ministry. And I am awesome. My name is Barry Cosmos, the Radio Marshal, the Buruburu one on radio. Okenze on radio, your big brother on radio. I am the main event and I am here.
Live on Echo FM 100.7 Owerri.
Are you ready?
All right, welcome back, people, to Straight Talk Live on Echo FM 100.7. All right, you are welcome. Today we're doing the aftermath of NNAMDI KANU'S sentencing, and of course, a lot of reactions are coming in. Let's take a listen to one of NNAMDI KANU'S lawyers as he broke down what his own side of what NNAMDI KANU is seeking. And they will hear one of his lawyers, one of the legal team members who was sacked by NNAMDI KANU, who opted to defend himself in the case. So let's take a listen to that one.
Yes, my name is Jude Ugwai. I'm one of the lawyers to Mazi NNAMDI KANU, Onyendu. We normally call him Onyendu. He's our leader. We're in court today, and he has several applications, particularly the one insisting that his right to final written address, guaranteed under Section 294, subsection 1 of the Constitution, be allowed him, that even if the court insists on foreclosing his right to defend the matter, he has given evidence, and that is the position of the Supreme Court, that once you have cross-examined the prosecution witnesses, you are deemed to have given evidence, in which case you have the right to sum your evidence by way of final written address. Mazi now told the court that even if you are committed to determine the case without my defense, I want to file final written address on 2 grounds. During trial, your lordship said that any objection to the admissibility of the documents tendered before your lordship can only be agitated and addressed in the final written address. I've not done that. I want to do it in the final written address. Number 2, I did not waive my right to final written address. If the prosecution waived their own, that is peculiar to them. But insofar as I did not testify, and I've rested my case on that of the prosecution, I should be allowed to tell the court the relevance of my cross-examination questions, the answers of the witnesses of the prosecution, and the effect on my freedom. But the court insisted that he will not listen to him, and in a haste dismissed all applications, and then intended to proceed on judgment. And the man said, you cannot do this. That is not what the law says. You have not given me the law that allows you to deliver judgment without giving me my opportunity of addressing the court on my defense. And the court said no, and then proceeded to give judgment. In giving this judgment, the court convicted Mazi NNAMDI KANU on the 7 count charges. But in convicting him on all the counts, the court failed to make a statement at least once on the validity and sufficiency of the discrediting of the witnesses of the prosecution. They were cross-examined by learned senior advocate of Nigeria, particularly Chief Kanagabi, a former attorney general of the Federation, Chief Onyechikwazo, a professor of law, a renowned jurist. But these questions, for instance, if I may give you an instance, they talked of importation of transmitter, and Onyechikwazo asked under cross-examination, did you get any document or evidence from the customs department to show that there was no lawful importation of it? And the person said no, and there was no such evidence. But the court proceeded to convict without in any manner evaluating the evidence of that cross-examination, without allowing him to file final written address, and hastily said this person is an international terrorist. That's an opinion, and that tells us how biased everything could be. But as lawyers, it is right for us to get the record of proceeding, study it, and go to the next level. However they want it, our law is that no matter the nature of the offense for which you are charged, you have the right to defend yourself and right to appeal against any conviction. They may look at it that he's unruly. He may be unruly, I may agree to that, but there are circumstances warranting his conduct. This is a man that was arrested in 2015. His prosecution started. The court granted him bail in 2017 in spite of objections. He was at his hometown. He was attacked. They wanted to kill him. And he ran away for his life and physical well-being. going to Court of Appeal. Court of Appeal said, under the law, the Terrorism Prevention and Protection Act, Section 76, Section 1, paragraph D, that you cannot arrest this man from Kenya and rendition him to Nigeria without due process of law. That renders the whole proceeding invalid. And they went to Supreme Court. And within the time they went to Supreme Court, out of time, from the time of conviction, the time of the decision of the court to the time they went to
Echo FM.
All right, that was Barrister Jude, who was also in the court giving his own account of that particular judgment. It's time now to get our lawyer, but I've been trying to reach the lawyer on phone, but he is not picking yet because he told me he was heading to the airport. So everybody, we would just try our best to look at certain issues. If we can't reach our legal personnel to help us break certain things down, but we will look at this matter. What makes someone, what makes you, what makes the law see somebody as a terrorist? Because right now they have branded NNAMDI KANU an international terrorist. And of course, you had the wife there saying it's the British government that wanted NNAMDI KANU to be prosecuted as an international terrorist. Remember, NNAMDI KANU is also a British citizen. Well, there's no particularly defined way, but what makes one a terrorist is their engagement in calculated, politically or ideologically motivated violence that aims to create widespread fear and coerce a government or a broader population. Well, like I said, there's no single definition universally agreed upon, international legal definition of terrorism, but national laws and international conventions share common elements, all right? So the key defining characteristics as acts of terrorism generally distinguished from ordinary violence or conventional warfare by several core elements. Now, let's take a look at this element and put NNAMDI KANU in the mode of all days. Does it fit into any of these to be branded as a terrorist? Now, one of the core characteristics is the use or threat of violence. The act involves serious violence against people or property or credible threat of such violence. Did NNAMDI KANU do this? Well, they said because of its radio broadcast, he was involved in serious violence against the people of the Southeast. And of course, properties, they were damaged and burnt by his followers because he incited them to do it. Well, that is what the court is saying. The use of threat, that's one of the characteristics of a terrorist. Two, the other is intention to create fear. An intention to create fear is a primary goal to generate extreme fear and terror in the population or a specific segment of the public. Beyond the immediate victims, this is often described as the classic terrorist triangle. The A attacks, B to coerce, and C a government or a public. That is the intention to create fear. Was that the intention of the sit at home? The sit at home was being enforced by some people who claimed to be IPOB. IPOB denied vehemently that they were not responsible. They did not take responsibility for the crime committed by these people. But the sit at home was ordered by IPOB in the initial stage. And later on, we started hearing Simon Ekpa, Angu, and the rest of them kept going on and going on. So this intention created by NNAMDI KANU. That is the second characteristics of a terrorist. The third characteristic is political, religious, or ideological motivation. The violence is committed to advance a specific cause rather than for personal gain, e.g. a typical criminal activity. Now, example is that NNAMDI KANU was agitating for the separation of Biafra from Nigeria. Does it get into the mode of a typical criminal activity? No. The Constitution provides for self-cessation or self-determination. So, at the end of the day, politically, religious, or ideological motivation, was Nnamdi Kanu found guilty of any of these? That is the third characteristics of a terrorist. The coercion of a third party. The ultimate objective is often to compel a government, an international organization, or a population to do or abstain from doing a particular act or to change a policy or position. Did Nnamdi Kanu fall into this category of doing this? Coercion of a third party. That is also seen as a characteristics of a terrorist. Well, I'm giving you these characteristics so that you can understand why or how he is being branded as a terrorist. Does he fall into this? After this, I'll let you want to hear your take on this one. So then targeting non-combatants. Many definitions emphasizes the deliberate targeting of civilians or non-combatants. Was Nnamdi Kanu's crusade targeting the innocent civilians or non-combatants? It's a criterion that helps distinguish terrorism from legitimate act of war under international humanitarian law. If you check these bandits and terrorists all over in these Islamic jihadists and extremists, this is exactly what they do. They're targeting non-combat people. People are sleeping in their house, school children, they'll go there and kidnap them. That is pure act of terrorism. But in this case now, was Nnamdi Kanu targeting any non-combat or civilians in his agitation? Yeah, there are certain places here and there where the likes of Joe Igbokwe's house was burnt down because of his stance on what was happening. Of course, by the way, Joe Igbokwe has made a statement that he has got justice for his house and 35 or 36 plots of land that he lost. He wanted to build a school. He made that comment and all that. So does this also fall in this particular category? Then targeting government establishment, like police stations that were burnt down. This is one of those things that and the judge, Justice Omotosho, used in calling for destruction of people's property and the government-owned property and all that. So this is exactly what he was saying. At the end of the day, does it constitute Nnamdi Kanu? Does it make Nnamdi Kanu a terrorist? So I'm reading out all these things for you so that you will understand the characteristics of that. The legal versus political context. The definition of terrorism remains a subject of debate in international law, largely due to political and ideological connotations. One man's terrorist, another man's freedom fighter. So in this case, now a lot of people see Nnamdi Kanu as a freedom fighter, while the government is seeing him as a terrorist. Where the national laws, individual countries have specific counter-terrorism laws, such as the UK's Terrorism Act of 2000 or the US definition used by FBI and Department of Defense that legally define and criminalize related actions. So your freedom fighting can be seen as terrorism in some countries. Is Nigeria one of those countries? But international efforts, the United Nations also condemn all acts of terrorism as criminal and unjustifiable, regardless of their motivation. In efforts have focused on international conventions against specific terrorist tactics, such as terrorist bombings or the financing of terrorism, rather than a single overreaching definition. So that's to tell you the various aspects how they see terrorism. So let me get your take on all this. Does Nnamdi Kanu fall within any of these characteristics to be branded as a terrorist? Hello, good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Barry. My very good morning, friend.
Welcome, sir.
My name is Chief Jude Umar that I usually call from Duchi, Zogimo State.
Okay.
Well, Barry, for all intents and purposes, Nnamdi Kanu.
Hello?
As the leader of Justice Omotosho said, I want to tell anybody who cares to know that from the beginning, I know that Justice Omotosho was biased or has been biased against Nnamdi Kanu. Little wonder he ordered that he be sent to court yesterday, even before that judgment, was given. It is unfortunate. Let me remind Justice Omotosho to know that, the international communities are watching him. And particularly now that the U.S. government is looking into, the affairs of genocidal attack on Christians in Nigeria. He should know that he stands the risk of being denied visa in U.S. and being branded as somebody who is supporting evil. It's unfortunate. The church says that the evil that men lives after them. And I want to tell him that he's living with them now, including himself.
All right,
so let's just watch and see what happens. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chief. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Bayo.
Good morning. My name is Barry, not Bayo, please.
I'm sorry, Mr.
Okay.
Barry.
Okay.
You know, what happened is too confusing that some of us, elderly men, don't know what to say again. So that could be the reason I made that mistake. So my brother Biko, forgive me.
No problem. Go
I
ahead.
am Chief Bright Ago,
Okay.
calling from Ohabele, London, in Obostema. Nnamdi Kalu doesn't fall into all what you mentioned to qualify one as a terrorist. Nnamdi Kalu is not a terrorist. He's a freedom fighter. And what happened is a premeditated judgment. That is Justice James Omotosho read the script given to him by his recruits. And I watched him talking or reading those manufactured judgments against an innocent man on channel televisions. And I found out a whole judge it was very difficult for James Omotosho to read out the script given to him by whoever. That is to show that Mazin Nandekalo, I think he's innocent tomorrow, not even worse. So I'm appealing to President Tinubu to right his wrongs right in this Mazin Nandekalo's case by calling him out from that prison custody to show Ndibo that yes, and Nigerians at large, that indeed he is a father. That is what I expected from him. I am Chief Bright Ago. Thank you, Barry.
Thank you. Let's go to the messages on Facebook now. Akemi Fumiko says, I'm tired of Nigeria. Is the best says, okay, my Eze Egbu is my name. Going or not going, there is no need for it. The only thing is for us to gather together, strengthen ahead to Abuja. They say he kills a lot of people in Igbo land. Are we complaining? They are looking for what we will do. All right. Emmanuel Jaja says Nnamdi Kanu is gone. Appeal court won't do anything. All these years, they have been looking for a yes, and yesterday they got it. Samuel Ubochi says, Samuel from Abuja, he sent in this Samuel Ukosike from Abuja. He said, the judgment shows that we are not part of Nigeria. Debbie Nelly says, good morning. All right, good morning. He said, with pains in my heart, the height of injustice in Nigeria is so alarming. Imprisoning a man that did nothing but gave 20 years to a pure bandit. While I just pray in this state of this life, MNK, nothing should happen to him, because he that touched the lion's tail should get ready for its revenge. There, whoa. All right, Comrade Ampadek says, good. He's texting from Ohaji Umakane, the most peaceful community in Imo State. Says, good morning, Echo FM. The life imprisonment of Nnamdi Kanu underscores the hatred of Ndibo in this nation called Nigeria. The level of judicial decay is much. I encourage his legal team to proceed to the appeal court immediately. Meanwhile, I am very disappointed with Igbo leaders for selling Kanu out. Alpara Vincent Chima said, okay, says, good morning. God bless you. He said, God seed from Iagua. You this morning, say God bless you this morning. Igbos, high time Igbos understand their escape, get better than. All right, thank you very much for your contribution. We head on to our YouTube to bring you some of your messages on our YouTube. We also have this one on YouTube. Says he says Samson Lisa Matthew Emeahu says, good morning, my wonderful people. You guys are doing a great job. Abaleke Chigoze says, good morning, bro. Bro Barry, seriously, sir, I am heartbroken, but God in heaven is watching. Have a nice day, sir. Confidence Michelle says, I'm calling Zoswago, a.k.a. Motion, texting from Imopoli. Says, good morning, Barry and the listener. I still believe that NNAMDI Kanu will regain his freedom through court of appeal. We also have this one. Says, Victor Nkwacha says, good morning, Barry. I am Victor, watching you live from Mbrichi for the first time. Indeed, Straight Talk is a highly educative program. May God continue to guide you in this program you are doing. Thank you very much, Victor, all the way from Mbrichi. God bless you for your message. Good morning.
Good morning, Barry Cosmos.
I greet you.
My name is Onyeka Chukuma. I come from Works Layout.
Okay.
In a nutshell, I'll call this a show of shame, premeditated act to destroy the image of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu.
Okay.
And it's also a shameful thing that a whole judge of such level couldn't even read out. Even if it's something script written for him, one should be able to read it out.
Yeah.
We're talking about extradition. A whole judge treating a matter and trying to make judgment on extradition couldn't even pronounce extradition. Shameful. I know even going on appeal, they will still do the whole thing as planned because it's politically motivated. They just want to use it to silence Nnamdi Kanu. All our advice is for all the leaders of Ndibo to go meet Mr. President to maintain the dignity of Nigeria. It may look simple. No one knows where this may take Nigeria. If the earlier they take precaution and do the right thing, the better. Thank you, and God bless you.
All right, thank you very much. If I Jim Konye says, where is the justice? A federal high court can sentence a ISWAP leader who has killed many innocent souls to a 20-year imprisonment and sentence a freedom fighter, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, to life imprisonment. I said, with many accusations that not proven in Nigeria law against him, history can never forget the injustice just James Omotosho rolled out against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu yesterday. But he should know it clearly that even if a messenger is being killed, the message will never be killed. And yesterday, ill judgment against MNK indicated that we Igbos are being treated like slaves in this country called Nigeria. But I blame all Igbo leaders and politicians for not speaking up against mistreatment of Ndi Igbo in this country. In all, God is the ultimate judge who will judge everyone according to our deeds on earth. Eso Precious says, good morning, Barry. They have succeeded in using MNK court case and judgment to shift our eyes from what came into Imo State. This Hausa Fulani that massively come into Imo State is an issue we need to look into. Where did they camp? Where did they come from? Is their language luggage search? The guy that was attacked because he was streaming their entrance is to show that they are entering and plans ahead is war, kill and destroy. Please, I beg our amiable governor to please use security personnel to push these people out of our state. We don't need them. Thank you so much for this topic you brought. You truly have Imo State safety at heart. Thank you. Prince Chidi Eke says, Niger State. All right. Julie Stainless says, good morning, my eloquent and majestic Barry Kossi. I have been trying to calm myself down after yesterday's judgment on Nnamdi Kanu. The judgment to me seemed premeditated as everywhere was charged yesterday. My annoyance is not about the life imprisonment slammed on him, but the height of unwarranted hatred and injustice against the Igbos in this country. The glaring victory of Mr. Peter Obi in 2023 in a case in point, everything an Igbo person does is seen as a crime, while other people do it and go scot-free. Even when Igbo people contribute to more than three-quarter development of this country, they are still hated. When Igbos laugh with our other compatriots, ours is seen as a crime, different and obnoxious. Laws are used to judge cases concerning the Igbos. Why and what is our crime in this country called Nigeria? They die is cast. Appeal court may not solve the problem. They have decided Isn't Lady Julie Naseke sent in that one? We have Success Chuku from Amako here. I said, Mr. Barry Cosmos. Okay, it's the one on radio. But one on radio. What we have understood is that no justice in Nigeria. The marginalization of Igbos has prolonged and it has continued and don't know when it will end. By jailing MNK shows that no justice in Nigeria. The kidnappers, bandits are freely on the street, but an innocent man is being convicted just because he's an Igbo man. God is watching from a distance. Remember, the Radio Marshal. Thank you. Collins Chinonso says, I'm Collins Oswago, a.k.a. Emotion. I think I've taken that message on WhatsApp, on YouTube. All right, we have Prince Anukam, KSJI Dr. Sir Prince Anukam, texting from away. He said, well, what can I say? NNAMDI Kanu probably knew a day like this would come, but it's really not the end people imagine. It's just an intermission. Every great story has that legendary pause before the climax. Today for tomorrow. How many life imprisonment can end a belief? Besides, if history has taught us anything, it is that you can neither kill nor imprison an ideology. It is always a question of time. Whatever comes out of this MNK case, all will be well in the end. As for his fate as a man, MNK, like every other man, carries his cross. He knew what he signed for. He will be fine. You may not agree with his methods, which is okay, but at the end of the day, he has taken a noble cause, and for that, he has my respect. For those who are weary, do not worry. NNAMDI Kanu isn't invested in being alive and free. In the same sense, me and you are invested in being alive and free. He has a different reality, and his reality includes the acceptance of the fact that his path will be murky, strewn with weeds on a path less traveled. The darkest hour comes before the dawn. Emma Mex, Seobet, Obino Felix says, good morning, Sabari, the Radio Marshal. The country has decayed. Chukwebuka Nwago from Futo is saying the judgment purportedly delivered yesterday by Justice Omotosho, resulting in the imposition of a life imprisonment sentence on NNAMDI Kanu, has provoked a wave of national disquiet and intellectual indignation. To many critical observers, the ruling constitutes a jurisprudential irregularity and palpable deviation from the cardinal doctrines of proportionality, equity, and uniform justice that ought to animate Nigeria's judicial superstructure. What further compounds public outrage is the glaring asymmetry within the national security landscape. While bandits, insurgents, and other violent non-state actors continue to orchestrate unrestrained killings, abductions, and territorial incursions across the northern axis with minimal prosecutorial decisiveness, extraordinary severity appears to be deployed in this singular case. Such a differential application of state power fuels the widespread perception that justice in Nigeria is increasingly selective, stratified, and systematically inconsistent. It is very unlawful for such judgment because he is an Igbo man. Engineer Ebuka, texting from Futo. All right, let's get this color. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
All right, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, go ahead, your name and submission.
My name is Vincent Ozochukwu.
Okay.
I'm calling from Owerri.
Go ahead, sir.
In the case of my brother NNAMDI Kanu, for me, I will say that our Nigeria lawyer, the judge, have already said what is in his own mind, because our Igbo politicians and Igbo rich men, they are in support of all these things that is happening. Because we have many influential in this our eastern region, eastern side, and they are seeing this thing now going on. None of them have said anything about this thing, and they are there watching a common judge to rule our brother to life imprisonment.
Why? Please, I take exception to that word, a common judge. Please, mind your comments.
Okay, sorry, sir. A judge to rule, to sentence our brother life imprisonment for nothing sake. It doesn't have gone. We have so many terrorists in this our country called Nigeria. None of them have been sentenced to life imprisonment. But in eastern religion, in eastern side, everything about us is now being different in this content. But they are saying that we are one Nigeria.
All right,
no problem.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you. All right, just before we go, let me take this message on WhatsApp. It says, good morning, Barry Cosmos. Ngolka Tony from Christchurch Road, where the news concerning the abduction of 52 students of a Catholic school in Niger State is not a surprise to us. The government of the day has refused to do the needful. They are busy with convictions of NNAMDI KANU and sending delegation of security officers and politicians to USA in a bid to stop President Trump from sending his military to Nigeria to attack terrorists, bandits, and Fulani headsmen, carrying out genocide on Christians. President Trump and U.S. congressmen should not listen to them and go ahead to send American troops to Nigeria. All right, that's finally, let's take this message. It says, good morning, Barry Cosmos. The Francis from Second Inland Road, when they paraded witnesses in Max to testify that it's enough to tell us what the judgment will be. They wanted to gauge the reaction of Igbos, but they have been disappointed. They expected chaos, but God shamed them. As for Benue people, their destiny is in their hands. Thank you very much, Francis from Second Inland Road, for your beautiful message there. And that's where we are going to end up today, because we have some guests we are going to take after this time. Just before we go, I want to thank sincerely the Igbo nation for being peaceful after this judgment. There is no price too much to pay for peace. Everybody remain peaceful. We also call the attention of our security agencies and operators in Imo State to look into the mass inflow of people on bikes that are predominantly from the north, coming in their numbers, even have the guts to even slap or try to beat up somebody who was filming them coming in this state called Imo State. Let's be proactive before we start singing another song. When nobody wants to sing Kumbaya here, we want peace. We don't want anybody being abducted like it is happening now in Niger State today, Kwara State 2 days ago, in Kebbi State 3 days ago. Almost on daily basis is now abduction of school children. What is their own? So proactiveness is one thing we are asking, because it's not going to be funny if we hear that anybody was abducted in mass from a school in here in Imo State. That wouldn't be nice, because we don't want it. We are not at war, so we shouldn't be at war. So please, all our security agencies, please take note and take this matter serious. It is not a joke. It is happening. This is not hearsay. The videos are everywhere. They're coming in their numbers. At Naze Cluster Market, it was chaos just 2 days ago. So everybody needs to be careful. Watch your families. Parents, be careful where your children go, because they may just be at the wrong place at the wrong time. Thank you all for being part of the program. We have our